All right, hello everyone. This is Luis, and here with
Jacob.
This is our first podcast episode of Dethroned.
Yep.
So the whole point of this is that we plan to release kind of the small podcast episodes in between our bigger game episodes because they take a long time to edit, film, and plan and all that. So today we have our theme, or what we're going to talk about is
some fun combos within some of our favorite decks, man.
Yeah, so combos within our decks and the themes that follow. So how do the combos tie into the theme, and how does the theme works with the overall strategy of the deck and winning and all that.
Yep.
So the first thing we should probably get to is what constitutes a combo.
Anything that allows you to move forward ahead of your opponent or just win the game outright right then and there.
Right, yeah. So to put you ahead in the game, it puts you in a position of power, or that they can't bring you back down, or you just kill everyone. You win the game right there and then. So you want to go first, Jacob?
Sure, I'll start with one of my favorites. I got a theme deck here. It is all zombies. It's zombie tribal. One of my favorite decks that I've put together is Grimgrin. A lot of people don't use him. I think he's great. For those that don't know, Grimgrin actually comes in tapped and says sack a creature, untap it, and add 1/1 counter to it. So, you can infinitely sack to him and make him really, really big, which is my favorite way to do it.
So what are those combo pieces to go infinite?
So one of the easiest ones is Rooftop Storm, which allows you to play zombie creatures infinitely for 0 cost. So every
Just so that we all aware, I hate this card. This is the worst thing ever. I hope it burns one day, but okay.
So it allows me to play Gravecrawler non-stop with my commander, allowing my commander to get really, really big, and then, I don't know, hit Louise upside the head for 1,000 commander damage.
Happens.
Also allows me to infinitely play it so I can use Altar of Dementia to just mill the team out. So everybody on the board is gone, no deck left. And as you know, if you draw the last card out of you can't draw on your draw step, you instantly lose.
Yeah, and like if we don't have an answer for Rooftop Storm the moment that you play it, it's pretty much game right there. So I always make it a thing when I'm playing against this zombie deck to always have some kind of enchantment removal, counterspell just saved up for this card.
Yeah.
Just for that.
You really have to in this one. The other fun thing with Rooftop Storm is playing Liliana Untouched by Death, because you can neg 3 her as soon as she hits the board, which allows you to play zombie cards from your graveyard. So with Rooftop Storm out, I can play Vindictive Lich over and over again and just hit my opponents for 5 until they're dead.
That's pretty good. I never thought of that. Vindictive Lich. So what does Vindictive Lich do? Target opponent sacrifices a creature, target opponent discard 2 cards, and then target opponent loses 5 lives. So you can pick one of each of your opponents, right?
For each thing, yep.
Yeah, and you can just loop it and
loop it.
Yeah, that's just gross.
Even if I don't get the loop out, great value engine. In case, I don't know, somebody wants to play an Eldrazi Titan, I can make them sacrifice it. Not saying anybody would do that.
I do that. I play the Titans.
But along with infinitely sacking Gravecrawler, I have Digraph Captain that says whenever another zombie dies, each opponent takes 1 life. Bantu's Monument, whenever I cast a black creature, whenever I cast a creature, period, each opponent loses 1 life. So Phyrexian Altar with Gravecrawler allows me to do that continuously.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Which is why I also have Plague Belcher to help deal damage with each time. Another fun synergy I have, or combo, is the Noxious Ghoul, which says whenever Noxious Ghoul or another zombie enters the battlefield, all other creatures get -1/-1. So it's a board wipe right there.
Yeah.
Ashnod's Altar is another sack outlet.
See, I'm really glad that they reprinted Phyrexian Altar, because it used to be like $90, used to be way out of price range for a lot of us. So the moment that they reprinted them in, what was it, Ultimate Masters?
Yep.
Yeah, the last one.
Modern Masters, wasn't it? Isn't that Modern?
I thought it was...
No, that's Ultimate, you're right.
Yeah, Ultimate, yeah.
Ultimate.
After that, it was like much better to get, like everyone and their mother have it now.
Yep. It's a great card though.
It is.
Sacrifice creature, add 1 mana. I also have Entombment
any
here.
Color. Of 1 mana of any color.
I have Entomb in here because it allows me to put Gravecrawler in the graveyard in the very beginning, because you can play Gravecrawler from the graveyard as long as you have a zombie on the field. Yeah. The other fun combo for me is Nim's Death Mantle and Grave Titan. You take that with Ashnod's Altar and you get infinite zombie tokens.
There you
with
go.
infinite zombie tokens, I go wide and get to beat everyone down.
Now, Nim's Death Mantle is one of those cards where it's just a combo card.
It's a great combo card.
It's easy to get, especially when you're doing token, going wide.
Oh yeah, anything that creates tokens.
The Death Mantle is just like so powerful, so good. Alright, so for me, I'm going to talk about Rakdos, Lord of Riots. This is the funny story. This deck, actually, I made it for my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend's favorite deck, and I wanted to be themed around demons, Eldrazi Titans.
Yeah, what's the nickname she gave it? Discount Daddy?
The Discount Daddy guy, or the Discount Daddy. Rakdos, the Discount Daddy. All right, so as you know, to be able to play Rakdos, you need to deal combat. You need to deal damage to your opponent, or your opponent have to lose life.
Yes.
Right?
The opponent has to lose life before you can play Rakdos.
Which, there are many ways to do that. The main way that I like to do it is with creatures or pingers, like Nettle Drone and Lobber Crew. Now, Lobber Crew is cool because I can tap them, deal 1 damage to each opponent. So if I have usually 3 opponents, that's 3 discount right there. I can play Rakdos. When I cast Rakdos, because it's a multicolored spell, this untaps. And I can do it again, and that's 6 discount right there. So I could play like, I don't know, maybe something big for 6, whatever I have. The Titans are not 6, but
close enough.
Close enough. So those are the pingers.
Which are annoying because they can untap pretty easily in this deck, and when they do, they just keep pinging, and nobody likes to be pinged for 1 to death.
It stacks up. People don't see it coming.
No, they're just like, it's 1, whatever.
They realize they've lost.
I'll be alright. Now I'm at 20.
Right. So it's pretty great. And it hits your opponents, so you're not getting hit with them, so you're good. The other thing, so one of the meanest combos, so let's go back to themes. So this podcast is not only about combos, but also about the theme of our decks. So Rakdos, obviously,
Discount Daddy.
It's all about discount big creatures, right?
Big creatures for way less.
Usually, though, because it's red and black, there's not a lot of things that red and black can do against control, for example, or enchantment decks, because I literally have, so I don't have a copy of Chaos Warp in this deck, so enchantments are like, can't touch them.
Can't touch them. Gotta kill the person using them.
The best kind of removal is player removal. So, going back to the theme, besides big creatures, is also sort of land destruction. And I know land destruction is usually frowned upon, but like our play group,
you gotta do what you gotta do. We're here to win a game.
We're pretty rough with each other when it comes to like our combos and all that. So I just play I don't like just destroy everyone's lands though. I don't like play Armageddon and then like Teferi's Protection and like peace out, you know?
No, that'd be dumb.
Right.
Also cheating.
Although
Teferi's Protection is white.
Right. I'm guilty of doing that, but then I did it and then I was just like, not doing it again. So the one thing that I do here for land destruction or pseudo land destructions are things like Blood Moon, right? So Blood Moon makes all non-basics are mountains. So if we're going against a 4-color deck or a 3-color deck, you know, most of those decks. In our
play group, there's a lot of the multicolored land cards, non-basic lands.
Really powerful lands like
Inventor's Fair, Academy Runs.
Inventor's Fair, so this just shut them down. And another thing, it's not really land destruction, but it kind of helps against blue control players, against green players specifically, Stranglehold. The Stranglehold set, opponents can't search libraries.
It helps against black.
And opponents can take extra turns. Well, they can, it just, you skip that turn.
Yeah. So they'll play the extra turn card, skip their turn.
But you can play your extra turn card, you're just not going to get it. But yeah, so that will stop like ramp spell for green. And I play a lot of green decks. And I play against this deck sometimes because my girlfriend plays this deck against me. And I'm like, I can't use my cultivate, I can't use my far seeks, I can't use my stuff, and I'm just like
Can't use your fetch lands.
can't do yeah.
That shuts
Good
down
point.
fetch lands.
No fetching for the fetch lands. So this is like how much is Stranglehold? Like
Man, it's not that much. I
Right.
think it's like $5 if
$5, and then your $70 Mystic River whatever fetch land does not work.
Bro, $5 and anybody playing Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor,
Yeah.
any of those tutors that can allow you to help win the game is now just sitting there going, well, I can't do my normal
doing
strategy.
Doing nothing. The other thing is, this is one of the meanest combo I have in this deck. I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry. My favorite line, I'm not sorry I did it,
if it
but
does-
like I'm going to do it.
If it does happen, I kind of like, you know what, it's you guys' fault for letting this happen.
100%.
So basically what it is, you play a creature, an Eldrazi, called Etta Betrays. So Etta Betrays is 12 mana, which with Discount Daddy, sometimes for free. 11/11 creature that has Annihilator 2. Crazy ass ability.
Annihilator, man, a great ability.
It's powerful. And whenever an opponent sacrifices a known token permanent, you put that card onto the battlefield under your control. So whatever they sacrifice with Annihilator, it becomes yours.
Yeah.
Now you have that out in the field, it betrays, and you play a creature called Keldon Firebombers. It's 3 red. It is a 3/3 from Mirage.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like a crystal. We'll figure it out. When this
very
creature
good.
enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices all land except for 3. So if you have Keldon and It the Betrays, everyone sacked all of their land except for 3, and then you get all of those lands yourself. So you don't get the downside of doing the fire bombers.
You probably gained more lands than
And
you
in
lost.
a way, your opponents are kind of they're
Yeah.
they're
Back at the Stone Age.
back in the Stone Age. Like they can't do anything. So that's one of the biggest land destruction theme of the deck. The other things are like I figured out that Crypt Gas. Now Crypt Gas is a creature that it's a black creature.
Amazing creature.
Doubles your swamp. This combined with Urbor is great for this deck. Sometimes you just gotta hard cast those creatures. Sometimes you gotta go for Plan B. And the cool thing I found out is that Extort works really well with this deck because not only this deck needs life gain and Extort does that, and on top of it, you have
Another way
the
to play.
Rakdos ability, which is discount, and then it's just great. It's like 1 more mana, and then you get all that. Extra
So when you drop,
discount.
I don't know, It the Betrays for free,
Right.
you pay 1 an extort when you dropped it.
Yep.
Now everybody's taking more damage.
Yep, and another one is, let's say everything's going your way. You do like, you play an Eldrazi last turn. You were able to attack with it. Somebody got hit for 12 life, 12 damage, and now you have a 12 discount. So what you do is you pay 3 black, and then you play this card called Maga Trader of Mortals. Now this guy is real cool. He is a human wizard from the Kamigawa set. I don't know which one is.
Yep.
One of the Kamigawa sets, and it's a 0/0, and it comes with X +1/+1 counter equals the X that you pay into it. Now the discount counts as the X. So if I have 12 discount, this X becomes 12. And so he will enter, and his other ability is, whenever Maga comes into play, target player loses life equals to the number of equal to the number of counters on it. So you get hit for 12, play Maga, get hit for 12 again.
24 discount.
And if that's not enough, then before your turn ends, you can play something like Archean of Despair. Now this guy is Wound Reflection on a stick. It's a 6/6 for 6 and black flying creature. Your opponent cannot gain life, and at the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost this turn.
It's dumb.
So it's just straight
One
up.
reflection on a creature that you just paid 2 for
Yeah.
and pretty much could kill somebody.
Pretty much. It's very powerful. The other thing that I
Especially
like.
if you throw in that last card right there.
Yes. So let's talk about this card, Warstorm Surge. Now, Warstorm Surge is an enchantment that costs 5 and a red. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So this works really well with Rakdos because you get the discount only from playing creatures. So So the next one, you can kind of snowball from there. So you play something, deal that much, then you get that much discount, play something else, deal that much, and then
Traded Immortals, man.
boom, Emrakul for free. Example, you know?
Yeah, or just playing him.
Or Maga.
With
and just
Warstorm Surge out.
completely destroy someone.
So if I play him, you take 12, now you take another 12.
Yep. And there's another card that a lot of people don't play as, in my opinion, is very underplayed. I get why, because it's very niche, but it's still really good for this deck specifically. It's called Sarkhan's Unsealing.
Man.
It came in Core 19, and it's 3 mana and a red for an enchantment that's very similar to Warstorm Surge. But it's sort of like where whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4, 5, or 6, Sarkhan's Unsealing deals 4 damage to any target. So if you play Rakdos, you can...
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you can hit something
I
for
mean,
4.
that's not bad at all.
That's 4 discount right there.
But everything he's casting has a higher
Right, power.
Than 6, so it's 7 or more.
Whenever you cast a creature, and like let's go back to this, it's cast. So even if it gets countered,
Even
this
if it
still
gets countered, it
happens.
still happens.
So it's very anti-blue a little bit. So it's very important in this deck. Blue is very good at kind of keeping it at bay sometimes. But yeah, so if you cast a creature with power 7 or greater, Sarkhan's Unsealing deals 4 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. So that is 4, 4, 4 in a usual 4-man pod. That's 4 times 3.
So yeah.
So that's just really good. Say you pull that up. Say you have Sarkhan's Unsealing, Warstorm Surge. It's really hard for me to say that word. And you play some big creature and you hit everyone for 10 damage. And now this is one of my favorite cards of the whole deck. It's called Null Spine Dragon. It is 5 red and a red for a 7/5 flying dragon. And when he enters the battlefield, you discard your hand. You may discard your hand. You don't have to do it, but you want to do this.
You want to.
You discard your hand and then you draw a card equal to the amount of damage dealt to target opponent this turn. So you pick one person who got hit for the most, and then
Let's say they took 24 damage so far.
And then you draw 24 cards, and then you do your little dance.
And you still have 24 discounts, so
Yeah,
you're doing pretty good for
exactly.
yourself.
And this card is here more for flavor. So going back to the theme of the deck, it's a Rakdos deck, right? So it's called Rakdos Return. It is X, black and red. And now I know that Rakdos discount doesn't apply for sorceries and instants, but this deals X damage to target opponent and then that player discard X cards. So sometimes in some games you have a lot of mana, so might as well
Got mana to spend, might as well tap it.
yeah, just hit the blue player and then can't counter your stuff, and then they're done. And then without I have to mention these because these are kind of the reason why I made this deck are the 3 Titans. We got Olamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, so it's the newest Olamog. I got Emrakul, the Promised End, because can't play the other one, it's banned.
Yep.
And Kozilek, Butcher of Truth.
Yes.
And now these 3 things just self-explanatory. They're powerful.
I mean, you say self-explanatory. Not only are they powerful, Emrakul says, "I'm gonna take your turn.
Yes.
I'm gonna kill you on your own turn."
Takes people's turn. Now I play this card and it makes people really salty sometimes.
Super salty.
And you gotta be careful how you play it a little bit. But like I mentioned before, like our group of people that would play with, they play very degenerate combos.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know. I only showed like 7 combos in Grim Grim.
Rooftop Storm over here. And so things like that, and yeah, so and that's what Rakdos does.
Next,
Right,
I got
next
Joyra Cheerios.
Joyra. What is Cheerios?
Cheerios just means I got a bunch of small artifacts in here that cost 0 or 1 to help Joyra go off. Because Joyra says whenever you play a historic spell, you can draw a card. And historic was a thing they came out with, and it says artifacts, legendaries, and sagas are historic.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't even think we see many sagas anymore.
No, but you know what? I think they may be coming up with new ones.
It would be cool if they did.
Yeah, with the new set coming out with Throne of Eldraine, but that's for another discussion.
That's for a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to win in Joyra is to draw my deck out and have Lab Man on field. Most people know the Lab Man combo, but it says if you would draw a card from your library and there's no cards left, you win the game instantly. It's a great way to do it. What allows me to do that is a fun little combo that just came out because Mystic Forge came out in M20. And Mystic Forge says you may look at the top card of your library, and if it's a colorless card, you can cast it. So then I put Sensei's Top on top. That cost 1 to cast normally. But you throw in things that allow it to cost 1 less. Ooh, I didn't put them in this pack. So, you throw in like an Ethereum Sculpture, anything that allows artifacts to cost 1 less. Next thing you know, you're playing Sensei's Top for free off of Mystic Forge. So you're drawing your entire deck by tapping top, drawing a card, then using Mystic Forge to play top, which allows you to play your entire deck. The real fun part to go with that is when you're drawing through like that. Psychosis Crawler allows you to ping your opponents for 1 every time you draw. So I draw 40 cards and everybody dies. Simple as that.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. It's true.
One of the best things in this deck, though, is to get infinite mana, so you don't have to worry about anything. So infinite mana is pretty easy in artifacts, and since I'm only going for colorless mana, I got Basalt Monolith, Rings of Brighthearth, which is a great infinite mana combo. Not too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, Rings of Brighthearth is still kind of expensive.
It's gone down a little bit, though, but
yeah.
it's the most
standard
way of doing it. Yeah.
You play Basalt Monolith for 3. Rings of Brighthearth only costs 3. Rings of Brighthearth says whenever you activate an ability of a card, you can double the activation. So you tap Basalt Monolith for 3. Then you use the 3 you get to activate its untap ability. And you have like a Soul Ring or something, just give you 2 mana for Rings of Brighthearth to activate. And you just go ham. You get infinite colorless mana.
Right.
Now, if somebody sees that and stops it, I have other fun ways to get infinite mana, like Karat Clan Ironworks, or KCI as most people call it. And then you do that with a Mere Moon Vessel, which is a fun card. Costs 1. When it dies, you get 1.
Huh. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you throw that, or like Cathode Ion, which says when it dies you get 3. And that is all fun because it dies, and you have Salvaging Station out. Salvaging Station says tap, return artifact creature to your hand.
Right, so you can kind of loop them.
And whenever the creature gets played, it untaps the Salvaging Station.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you get infinite mana.
Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, you may untap. Yeah, so then you basically just loop these, all of these and...
Infinite mana.
Yeah.
Now once you have infinite mana, you can do something like Staff of Domination, which allows you to draw the entire deck.
Every time someone plays Staff, I
destroy it.
Destroy it, yeah. That's
as soon as it hits, either counter or destroy.
If you guys get anything from this video, is whenever someone plays Staff of Domination, just blow it up. Just destroy it, stomp it, burn it. You know, Vandal Blast that thing.
So another fun combo that I like to do is Retraction Helix. Retraction Helix says that until end of turn, target creature gets tap, return artifact, or return permanent to its owner's hand.
Permanent, yeah.
Which is fun for me because I combine that with like a Memnite, and I'll tap a creature, pop Memnite to my hand, play Memnite, draw a card.
0 cost, though.
Now, it was a lot easier when we had Paradox Engine out here to be able to untap and retap it. Now that I don't have that, I gotta stick.
Work around it.
Yeah, but there's still
ways. Gotta work for your win because this deck is just so fast.
It's so fast. It's ridiculous. One of the other combos I like to play is Words of Wind, which is fun because it says I can skip the next time I would draw, and I can bounce, or each player returns a permanent to their hand. So I return something like a Mana Crypt to my hand every time. So I get mana every time I'm doing this. And it only costs 1 to activate this ability. So Mana Crypt gives me 2. I'm just going. And then the other card that I really like in this deck, because it helps me get to my win condition if I'm having problems getting to it, is Merchant's Deckhand. Because with all the little artifacts in here, I get a lot of artifacts on field. Merchant Deckhand says pay 3 and a blue, tap it, and then tap X untapped artifacts, and I get to go X deep and look for an artifact.
Yeah, now if you have infinite mana or however mana you can make, you can have X to be whatever, right?
You gotta tap artifacts.
You gotta tap artifacts.
So I can only go so deep. But
okay, got it.
There's plenty of things out there that allow me to untap artifacts.
Yeah, you're right.
So that with my infinite mana combo here, I can tap this, untap it, because I have infinite untap steps.
Got it. Yeah.
So yeah, it gets pretty crazy. But it allows me to go as deep as I need to get the answers. And like you said, Jorah's pretty fast. Yeah. So I tend to only run it when people are ready for it.
What is the fastest you won with this deck?
Turn 2. Turn 2 is the fastest I've won with this deck. Played Jorah turn 1. Turn 2 had infinite mana, infinite draw.
Yeah. So one time we were playing this 4-pod game, and he was playing Jorah, and I was playing some Simic deck or something. And you draw your hand, and you're like, oh man, this is crazy. And I draw my hand, and it's actually a really bad hand. It's like 1 land, whatever. And usually you want to mulligan that hand, but I'm just like, you know what? It's not gonna matter because this game is not gonna last more than 3 turns. So I'm just gonna keep this hand, and like, sure enough,
3 turns.
We won turn 2. It wasn't even 3. It was turn 2.
Yeah, it does things pretty quick.
So I just didn't want to shuffle. That was the main reason. Didn't want to shuffle.
No need to shuffle if you don't need to.
Exactly.
So what do you got next for us?
All right. So the next deck that I have is my pride and joy. It's my favorite deck, and it is Izoni the Thousand Eye, or Izoni Thousand Eye. Now she's not the best Golgari commander out there, but the thing about this deck is like I consider good commander decks that are not so commander centric, right?
Yep.
Any deck, because anytime you can get rid of somebody's commander, which is like the easiest thing you can do, they get shut down if it's too commander centric. But this deck is the deck that wins, not the commander.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely the deck that wins.
So if you guys don't know, Izoni Thousand Eye was printed in the first block of going back to Ravnica. It was Ravnica Alliance or Guild of Ravnica, and she has the Undergrowth ability where I make X 1/1 black and green insect creatures, where X is the amount of creatures in my graveyard. So basically, this deck has over 35 creatures in it, and they're all meant to die.
All meant to die.
Morbid, I know. So, and then the other thing that she has is black and a green, sacrifice another creature, you gain 1 life, and draw a card. So she herself is a draw engine. You don't need
any more draw engines in there.
Right, a draw engine. And so black and green are definitely, I would say, my favorite combination of colors.
You're totally a Golgari.
And I am totally a Golgari fanboy. So let's go into the combos over here. So let's talk about the most obvious combo here. So we want to go infinite at some point if the game is going too long. So we play a card that we already mentioned. It is Nim Deathmantle.
Such a great card.
Again, crazy card, especially in combo decks.
Yeah, but it combos with like 3 different things in
it. Not combo decks, token decks, sorry. But yes, that too. And then any sack outlet that gives you mana, like Ashnod Altar is usually the best one for this, because you only need
colorless mana.
4 colorless mana. This gives you 2 colorless per creature sacking. Or Phyrexian Altar. It still does the job, you just gotta have more creatures to make sure that you hit that 4 every time. So these 3 make infinite tokens for any creature that makes tokens as they enter the battlefield.
As long as it makes 2 tokens.
Exactly. So Izoni, if I have enough creatures dead, then she will make a bunch of insects.
Yeah.
Avenger of Zendikar.
There you go.
That is the guy that always makes a bunch of stuff, and along with many other guys that do that. Alright, so let's talk about, so this combo right here came out with the God Eternal Bond 2. Now when this when this card was spoiled, I was like, yes, this is going into my Golgari deck. Like, I don't know how I'm going to fit it in there, but he's going in there, and he works. Like, now, God Eternal Bond 2 is 3 black for a 5/6 menace legendary creature zombie god. Because that's cool, you know?
Gotta be a zombie god.
Gotta be a zombie god. When he enters the battlefield, I sacrifice any number of permanents, then draw that many cards. Now, it says permanent. At first, I thought it was non-land permanents, but I realized I can actually sacrifice my own lands if I don't need them.
You could.
Or my token, because it doesn't say non-token, it just says permanent. So I can sack my tokens.
All those tokens.
Draw as many cards as I need. So it's kind of like an emergency draw whenever I'm not getting my draw engine. I just play him, sack my stuff.
Whenever you're not getting your draw engine.
Right. Right. And now my favorite combo with this guy, I play a creature called World Shaper. World Shaper is 3 and a green for a 3/3 Merfolk Shaman. And so it's like a magical mermaid. Whenever he attacks, you may put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. So you milled yourself for 3, which is something that you want to do in this deck. And then when he dies, all of the lands that are in your graveyard enter the battlefield tap.
Yep.
All lands, not basics. So what I like to do is, I like to play this guy first, right? And I have, say, 10 lands. And then I play God Eternal Bond 2. And he enters, I sacrifice all my 10 lands as permanent. Maybe I tap him for floating mana or whatever. And then I sacrifice him as my 11th permanent. Mm-hmm. So they all enter the battlefield.
All into the graveyard.
Right? They all enter the graveyard. Now, when they enter the graveyard, World Shaper will trigger because they all enter at the same time. So his ability will go on stack. And then, I guess Bond Tube will also go on stack, but I will draw because it's draw on the sacrifice. So I will draw first. Then all of these permanents enter the graveyard. His ability goes on stack. And then all of those lands come back into the battlefield.
All those and more.
Now, this is a very, very, very risky play, because if something happened, if someone was to like...
Tormod's Crypt.
Yes, that. Or...
With ability on stack, get rid of your graveyard.
Or like, God Eternal Bond 2 ability on stack, bounce World Shaper, but you still sack all of your lands, and you're done. Like, you can't do anything. So it's kind of risky, you gotta be careful with that, but when you see that the coast is clear, everyone's mana is tapped, and you can do it, do it.
Why not?
You know, go big or go home, right? Alright, so there's one. The other thing that this deck, so going back to themes, this deck is meant to win by either going wide and then Critical Behemoth, which is a very common token deck win con, or bleeding opponents. Now, bleeding are things like Blood Artist and Poison Tip Archer. These guys say that whenever a creature dies, or whenever another creature dies, everyone loses 1 life and you gain a life, or one person loses 1 life, you gain a life. And this is the kind of thing that I usually go for winning the game.
Yeah.
And
I've seen it
when you're making infinite tokens and you have these guys out, people die right there.
It's done.
That's a win con right there. The other thing that I like to do is, now Chord of Calling is a instant that has Convoke, and you can instantly cast it, and then you can tap your creatures, and then it will give you color equal their color identity to the X, which is 3 greens and X, and then you can basically search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it into the battlefield.
Yep.
Doesn't restrict to any color, so it's any creature.
Any creature.
What I like to do is...
Great card.
It's almost like an instant way of winning the game, where I say I have Izoni out, 10 tokens on tap, and somebody's going to, I don't know, board wipe, right? So what I like to do is I play Chord of Calling, tap all of my tokens, get all of my mana ready, Chord of Calling into Protean Hulk. Now, Protean Hulk is a combo piece. Everyone knows what he can do. I don't have the Mikaeus
Triskelion or Mikaeus
Triskelion, whatever combo here, because I don't think that Mikaeus and Triskelion go into the Golgari theme. I just don't think they'll be like Golgari, like fan people or like members of the guild, I guess, whatever. So
Members
I try
of
to
the
keep
guild.
right. I try to keep my deck to be kind of like on point with their guilds, and so the Hulk comes in from Court of Calling, which at instant speed I can sacrifice, assuming I have a sack outlet, and then when he dies, I get to look for any number of creature with total converted mana cost 6 or less. So what I do is sack them and get Poison Tip Archer and Blood Artist. Right? They come into the battlefield, and then the board wipe happens, and then all of those triggers will accumulate and maybe kill someone, or maybe if I have Nim, Death's Mantle, and Ashnod's Altar already out, I could just start looping Izoni, my commander, and then just start making infinite tokens, and then make enough tokens so by the time I let the board wipe resolve, just kill everyone.
Kill everyone.
Yeah, so that's one instant combo win that I like to do with this deck. And if I can't win, but people have too many creatures that are very dangerous, I can always Protean Hulk into Sabra, Queen of the Golgari. She is kind of like a Grave Pact effect on a creature.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that you're sacking black and green creatures so that you can get that you sack, I sack, you sack, I sack. So that's one way to board wipe in a way, like instant speed. If I need to get something on my deck, like if someone plays, say, Rooftop Storm, and I know that he's about to go off, like this guy, and I
don't know who would do that.
Protean Hulk, sack him, get Sidisi Undead Vizier. She comes in, maybe exploit to herself, get some instant and destroyed enchantments, and then Assassin's Trophy or something like that, and then just right there.
It's a good card right there.
Oh,
Assassin's Trophy
great.
2.
It's great. And it's permanent. And the other combo that I have in this deck, it's not really a win con. It's more of like a combo that allows me to draw as many cards as I want with as much as my life allows. It's playing so like any basic land, right? A forest or a swamp. And then you enchant it with Underworld Connections. Now Underworld Connections is a 1 black for an enchant land aura. And it has tap this land, pay 1 life, draw a card.
Done.
Now you enchant this to say my swamp, which is like on theme, Underworld Connection, blah blah. Then you play Earthcraft. Now Earthcraft is a card that was printed in Tempest, and it's 1 and a green, and it says, tap an untapped creature you control, untap target basic land. So if I have this out, and I have like 5 tokens out of Izoni or Avenger of Zendikar, I can tap this for 1, pay it a life, get a card, tap a creature, untap, and do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. So it's
help you draw to your win con.
Help me get my answer, help me get my win con, whatever I need to win. So it's pretty nice little combo that makes the deck a lot more resilient than other decks. That I can always come
very
back
resilient.
from, like,
It's very consistent.
Yeah, very consistent, and we've had a lot of games where you're trying to destroy my combo pieces, like my Ashnod's Altar or
where I
my
waste things
Correction
like
Altar.
Tails End to stop the
And-
activated ability. Like, nope, can't do it.
Exactly, but then I can always get it back because Golgari is really good at getting permanents back into your hand. So it's
yeah, when you can loop things like Ewit, Eternal Witness,
yeah.
and continuously get things back from your
that
graveyard.
happens. So yeah, this is my Golgari deck. It's one of my favorite decks. So.
All right. Next, I have Mishra. Mishra is fun. You don't see Mishra much. But Mishra says, whenever you play an artifact spell, you may search your graveyard, hand, and or library for a card with the same name as the spell you put into play. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. Now, the reason that is so fun for me is because Mishra is a chaos deck. And by chaos, I mean Possibility Storm.
That's a fun card. I like that card.
It changes games completely.
See, I feel like Possibility Storm is the kind of card that people don't know how to play against. And it honestly can actually help you out. Like, if all you have to do is play something that's really low cost in mana, and just think of what you have in your deck that is the same card type, but more.
You mean like in your Rakdos deck, where you can play one of your pinging creatures
right,
and get an
play
Emrakul?
like 3 mana ping Emrakul. So you gotta like
so dumb.
people, when I know, like I've noticed when people play this card, a lot of my opponents, a lot of other people, they get very salty about it. Or
They
get
do,
like,
and I think it's funny.
And I just like
The only people that should be salty is blue. Because
Learn-
blue players are,
Yes.
I'm going to counter.
exactly.
Wait, now I can't counter.
I would just say like learn how to play around it and like use it at your advantage because it could help you. Like it really
It can. It really can.
Yeah.
So the reason it works so well with Mishra is because I'll play, say, my Sensei's Divining Top. And my Sensei's Divining Top with Possibility Storm, because it says, whenever a player casts a spell from his or her hand, that player exiles it, then exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a card that shares a card type with it. Okay?
Yeah.
That player may cast the card without paying its mana cost. Then he or she puts all cards exiled with Possibility Storm on the bottom of his or her library in a random order. So with Mishra, I'll play Sensei's Divining Top. Since I successfully cast it, it goes into exile because of Possibility Storm. I get the next artifact. And then Sensei's Divining Top goes at the bottom of my library in a random order. And I just pull it off the bottom and play it because Mishra says search your library for it. So every time I get what I want, and everybody else doesn't quite get what they want.
Right. Yeah.
Now, leading directly into the Sensei's Divining Top, with it, I have Cloud Key and Ethereum Sculptor in here to make it cost less. An Aetherflux Reservoir, which is a great card. It wins in multiple decks of mine because it says, whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell cast this turn.
Yeah, and you cast a lot of really cheap spells.
Yes.
So you can easily gain that life.
Build up, build up, build up. Gain life, and then the next part is pay 50 life and deal 50 damage to any target.
Pay 50 life, kill someone. That's
Yep.
what it is.
So I partner that with Bolas' Citadel, which, to be honest, is a card I was surprised they printed.
Yeah, when they first revealed Bolas' Citadel, I was like, "That? Are you sure that
It's
that's
a
what
little
they
powerful.
mean?"
It's a
Very strong. But the thing is, like, in Standard, it's not that great.
No, but
And
in
it was
Commander,
meant to be in Standard, but in Commander, yes.
Yeah.
Commander breaks a lot of things that are not meant to be broken.
So Sensei's Divining Top cost me 1 life with Bolas' Citadel to play it, because I can play it from the top. So I tap Sensei's Top, put it on top, use Bolas' Citadel to play it. Now, technically I'm pinging myself left and right here. But with Aetherflux Reservoir out, only the first ping hurts.
Right. Because you're
After
building
that, I'm
up,
gaining life.
and you're not losing anything, so you're just getting that life, and then eventually...
So I get to draw
Boom,
through
boom.
my deck
Boom.
completely and kill everybody.
Yeah.
So that is a fun combo for me. One of the old combos that some people have seen and some people don't see very often, which I find a blast, is Leyline of the Void and good old Helm of Obedience.
Yep.
The way this works is Helm of Obedience says pay X and then tap it. And target opponent has to mill themselves from the top of their library until either a creature hits their graveyard or they've milled X amount of cards. Now, since Leyline of the Void says instead of going to your graveyard, it goes to exile, you pay 1, tap Helm, their library's gone.
Right, because
Exile their entire library.
as you're milling, you never hit that prerequisite, which is
The creature
what the
or how
helm
many cards.
says, that you need to hit that creature because everything is getting exiled. So the ley line would basically, that the little combo would just mill you out,
Yep,
and you have 1 turn to win, I guess,
pretty much.
with your hand.
The other fun thing for me is any deck that draws a lot of cards should run a Psychosis Crawler. Because pinging everybody at once is a
Yeah.
great thing. The other fun thing that I do to win in this deck is I have Darksteel Forge and Mycosynth Lattice. Mycosynth Lattice says everything is an artifact. All permanents are artifacts in addition to the other type. Darksteel Forge says all my artifacts are indestructible. But all my opponent's artifacts are not. So that's why you have the Vendrill's Disc, which says pay 1 and tap it, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. So good old Nev Disc here, pay 1, tap, wipe the entire opponent's board. They have nothing left. And just in case I don't have the Nev's Disc out,
Yep.
I can Vandal Blast Overloaded with those 2 cards out and take out every opponent at once.
Now, this is why I don't feel bad about playing It Betrays and Kill Some Firebombers or just blowing
This is why you shouldn't feel bad about it.
This is the other thing that I have to deal with.
But those are the fun combos that I do in this deck just to win.
Right. Now, my question is, because Possibility Storm seems to be like your trump card in this deck, like, do you have a lot of, well, maybe not your trump card, but like the fun card? Do you have a lot of ways to get that into your hand or into the battlefield easily?
Yes. I mean, Mishra has black in it, so I have every tutor I could really want. So I run Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor. I think I even have Imperial Seal in here. So it's a fun deck to be able to go for exactly what I want to set the game up. I also have Nether Void in here, which is a world enchant that says whenever a player casts a spell, they have to pay 3 extra, and if they can't, it's countered. So with Mishra, I never pay the extra because I can search my graveyard for that spell and put it back out.
Yep. That is just degenerate.
Just me.
Just bonkers, man.
Bonkers.
All right. So now we're going back to me, and we are going to talk about Elenda the Dust Rose.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys saw the first episode that we published with our first game, you guys see that Elenda won.
Yeah,
and
she did.
She made a bunch of angels and she got it.
Yeah. Smacked some people upside the head.
Yeah. So Elenda is kind of I would call it, it's more commander centric, that more than my Golgari deck, but you can still win without her. And I want to talk about this combo specifically because this card just came out in M20, and it's called Corpse Knight.
Such a good card.
Corpse Knight is cool because not only he is a zombie, but he's a knight zombie. So when he died, he never actually lost his knighthood, I guess. So it's a white and a black for a 2/3 2/2. A 2/2 zombie knight. This was a misprint.
You have the misprint.
Misprint. All of them are misprinted though.
No, not all of them.
Oh, okay. I thought they were all. Okay.
Nope, not all of them are misprinted.
So it's supposed to be a 2/2, not a 2/3. And it says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, all my opponents lose 1 life. Now, if I have Elenda, where whenever she dies, I make a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. If I have her out in the field,
equal to her power.
If I have her out in the field and I have an enchantment called Gift of Immortality, it is a 2 and a white. It is a enchantment aura that says whenever a creature dies that is enchanted to this enchantment, it returns to the battlefield immediately, and then this goes back into the creature on the next end step. So basically what you do is you equip it to Elenda, you have the Corpse Knight out, and every end step, or every turn you sacrifice her. Let's sacrifice her right now, no creatures except for that guy. She will die, right? She will make a 1/1. That comes in, and then she comes back immediately. That is, all my opponents lose 2 life right there. End step, Gift goes back into Elenda. On my opponent's turn, I can sacrifice her again. I can sacrifice, well, I do need to have a sack outlet first.
You do need a sack outlet.
Yes.
But you have plenty in the deck.
Right. So let's say I sacrifice the one that she made plus her. So that will make her into a 2/2. Yep. She dies, make 2 1/1s plus her, that's 3 damage to all my opponents.
And yeah, it builds up pretty quick.
On and on, you just keep looping it until not only she gets huge, so that she can swing on my next turn, but this guy just like sucked in everyone's life to a point
just pings everybody down. Man.
Yeah, and I was able to make that combo last 2 Fridays ago, and it was really fun.
Yeah. For you.
Yeah. Yes.
No, it's a good combo.
If you haven't noticed, we play a lot of games together.
Quite a few.
Yeah. The other combo that I have, let's go over here. So we got Ophiomancer, which is a card that did a lot of work on our first episode of Dethroned.
It's a great card. I actually went out and bought one after the first episode of Dethroned.
So basically what she is 2 and a black for a 2/2 creature, human shaman. She makes a 1/1 black snake with Death Touch, which is great because it's a great blocker. If I don't already have one on each upkeep. So you have that out.
Upkeep.
Huh?
Each upkeep.
Each upkeep, not yours. Just like yours, your opponents,
Everyone's upkeep.
your opponents. You're making a snake every time. And if you have a sack outlet and Elenda out, you can
And
always
if you have Corpse Knight and Elinda and
yeah,
Sack
and Corpse
Outlet
Knight,
out.
Elenda. It's just like this is all synergy right here.
Such good synergy.
But there's another card that combos with Ophiomancer that I just love, and it's Divine Visitation. Now, I did play this card.
Man, I think I got 5 of them when they spoiled that. I was like,
Yes.
gotta have it.
This card was in our first episode of Dethroned as well, and this set is an enchantment for 3 and 2 white. So every time I will make a token, I will instead make a 4/4 white angel creature with vigilance and flying. So if you read Ophiomancer, it says that if I don't already have a snake, I make a snake, but I instead make an angel. So instead of an angel, I get the angel, and then next upkeep,
There's no snake.
she doesn't check that I have a snake, so I make another snake, but I don't because I make an angel, and then I make a snake.
Every upkeep.
But I don't because I make
Every upkeep. Angel.
angel. So every upkeep, it's just angels, and I'm just like, right.
You would think you'd love angels. They're supposed to be good things. Thanks to some people, you might not view them the same anymore.
So yeah, like, if you do that, you definitely become the threat of the board, and you better, back it up with some power. The other thing that Elenda is supposed to do is, so the whole theme of the deck is kind of around her, where I make everyone else sacrifice a creature, she gets big, she swing for damage, or she dies, and I go wide and swing for damage and gain a bunch of life. But sometimes, against blue players, or just any control player, I need to lock the game down. And if I'm ahead of the game and I want to keep it that way, I tend to play things like Contamination. Now, Contamination is an enchantment that costs 2 and a black, and it says, during my upkeep, I need to sacrifice a creature or sacrifice Contamination. But in a token deck, that's not a problem.
No, it makes pretty good.
The sacrifice is good because I want her to get big, so that these two kind of help each other. And then the other thing is, whenever a land is tapped for mana, it produces a black instead of its normal type and amount. So if you have mana doublers, I'm gonna make 2 green. No, 1 black.
Yep.
So this
It can shut a lot of
basically
people down.
shut down a lot of decks. And if I have Contamination out with Better Blossoms. Better Blossom was recently reprinted in Ultimate Masters, so the price has gone down a little bit. It's 1 and a black. It's an enchantment fairy type, and I make a 1/1 black fairy. I lose a life every upkeep, every of my upkeeps. And so Better Blossom with Contamination put together, I always have a way to keep Contamination up and running.
Same thing.
And the same thing with Ophiomancer will do it as well. Elenda will basically help me out get a life back every time I have to pay a life, and she also gets bigger every time I have to pay the Contamination cost. The other thing would be this combo right here. It's a little weird because it's an infinite loop of death and revival, kind of. So what you do is you play Sun Titan. Everyone knows what Sun Titan does. It's 4 white for a 6/6 giant creature with vigilance. Whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return a permanent from your graveyard into the battlefield with converted mana cost 3 or less. A lot of my sack outlets, like Ashnod's Altar, Direction Altar, Contamination, Bitter Blossom, Gift of Immortality, Ophiomancer, Corpse Knight, they're all 3 or less.
Yeah.
So they all kind of fit within the Sun Titan ability. Now, let's say I have a sack outlet like Correction Altar. Let's say I have Animate Dead in the graveyard. What I can do is I can play Sun Titan, right? I can sacrifice Sun Titan. Well, actually, Sun Titan ability on the stack. I would choose Animate Dead. Now, ability on the stack, choosing Animate Dead, I could just have it come in with, I don't know, like maybe Elenda, and I can sacrifice the Sun Titan, play an enchantment called Necromancy, which is 2 and a black, and it says it's basically the same thing as Animate Dead. You can play it at instant speed, But if you do that, you have to sacrifice the enchantment, which in turn sacrifices the creature in the next end step. But if you play at normal speed, you're fine. You play Necromancy, you bring back, you play Necromancy, sacrifice the other creature that you have Animate Dead on, so that will go into the graveyard, Animate Dead. Sun Titan will come with Necromancy. Ability on the stack, you choose Animate Dead, but then you sacrifice the Sun Titan with his ability on the stack, so he hits the graveyard first. Then Animate Dead comes in. You basically pick Sun Titan when Animate Dead enters. Sun Titan comes back into this, and then you basically target Necromancy with Sun Titan's ability because it costs 3.
Keep sacking Sun Titan.
With Sun Titan's ability on the stack, you sack him again, and then you basically have this infinite loop of Sun Titan titaning himself into the game. And if you have Elenda out or Corpse Knight,
you win the game.
You win the game. Well, Corpse Knight, you win the game. Elenda, she's just giant,
humongous, and
things like that.
You get infinite mana in that loop.
That too. I missed that part. Oops. Infinite mana.
Oops. I missed infinite mana. I don't really need it.
Yep. So that's another little weird combo that I was kind of like thinking as I'm talking about it. I'm like, oh, hey, does it work this way? Yes.
Yeah, no, it works. And you get infinite mana.
It's kind of...
which you could play into... what is that card?
Well, I used to have Exsanguinate in this deck. I don't have it anymore.
Oh, it would have worked perfect for that.
It would have, but it's a very niche combo that barely ever happens.
What about what is it, 2 black and X, and they have to sack, lose life, or discard card?
Oh, Torment of Hellfire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
you
that.
You get infinite mana into Torment of
but
Hellfire,
yes,
too.
That
would
would
suck.
also do it. Yeah, another thing that is good with Sun Titan is Aura of Silence, because it's 3 mana enchantment, and it says all other artifact and enchantment that my opponent plays cost 2 more. So it slows down a lot of players that have enchantments or
like
artifacts. Right. And I can always sacrifice this, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So if I have Sun Titan out, I could always sack something, destroy something. He brings it back. So it's the loop is there. It's better than just a one-off spell.
Yep.
It's something that I can use over and over. Let's talk about back on theme. So I recently acquired a copy of Vampiric Tutor.
Such a great card.
And it's one of my favorite cards because it is the Judge promo. And I was able to get the Vampiric Tutor that kind of looks like the armor that Elenda will have. So I'm super happy about that. It's not really a combo, it's just a tutor. But the other thing is...
Yeah, but it allows you to keep your combos going.
Yeah, it's a tutor that gets my combo pieces. And tutors are never bad.
Never.
So Elenda, going back on theme, it's a asymmetrical board wipes kind of deck where you want her to survive your board wipes, but not your opponents. So I play things like Cataclysm, Tragic Arrogance, or Pox. Now all of these cards are a little dangerous because it also hits you as well, but you play them to either keep yourself ahead or kind of come back into the game if you're too far behind.
Yep.
Cataclysm is the worst one really because you pick one land, sacrifice the rest.
1 land, 1 enchantment, 1 artifact, 1 creature.
Planeswalker
Everything else
survives.
is gone.
If you have the right setup, this doesn't hurt you much because if you have Sun Titan, he can always get those land back. So you pick him as your creature, he survives, and then you get those lands back slowly but surely, but definitely much faster than your opponents, for sure. Cards like Pox usually bring down people's life by 1/3, as well as their lands. So
and the creatures.
And the creatures, which is something that Elenda likes, that she gets big real quick. If I'm going against graveyard decks, I play Kalidas, Trader of Geth. He is a zombie vampire warrior, 3/4 for 2 and 2 black. He has lifelink, and if a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. So it kind of takes care of other zombie decks
I don't know what you're talking about.
here. So you can't go off with Rooftop Storm. And then whenever he does that, I get a 2/2 black zombie. So it's always good to have like fodder for Alunda.
Yeah.
You know, things for her to eat. And that's one thing. And then Martyr's Cause, another enchantment that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it should be.
It's basically a free stack outlet. You prevent all damage to a creature or a player from one source. And I'm pretty sure now it also says to a planeswalker.
Yes, it is errata to any
to any target.
Yep.
So one of my favorite cards in this deck, definitely helpful. It helped me against red a lot. So
it helped you win the first game.
It helped me win the first game. That's true. I'm not. Yep.
So speaking of the games, hopefully you all watched the first one. If you haven't, go back and watch it. It's a great game.
We'll actually
we had a blast.
We'll have the link on the description down below, so you can go back and watch the episode or just watch it for the first time.
Now, as a spoiler for our next game that we're doing, we will finally be posting our first game of Kingdoms.
Which
is a blast. It's a great format, great altar for Commander.
Yeah.
Also, I get to play one of my new favorite decks.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're trying to play all new Commanders.
Correct. So we're doing a M20 Kingdom Commander game where
Kingdoms Commander Showdown.
Kingdom Commander Showdown. To kind of tie it back into the Dethroned name of our channel. Now, for those of you who don't know what Kingdoms is, it's like a sub theme of Commander where we all have secret roles, except the king will not be secret in our, because I won the first game, so I have the throne, so I'm the king.
For now. You have the throne for now.
For now. I'll keep my throne.
Now watch me end up being the knight and have to save you.
Yes,
that would be my luck. The knight protects the king.
One of the roles, the knight have to protect the king. So if he's the knight, then I'm set. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kill him anymore.
Yeah, so yes, the next game will be M20. You will be playing...
I'll be playing Yarok.
Yarok the Desecrated.
He's the
ETB
worst. Value.
He's the worst.
He's such a good value engine. I think he's great. I don't know why you hate him.
Oh, he's good. He's good. He's all right. I'll be playing Omnat, Locus of the Royal. If you saw the first episode as well, I did say that my first commander ever was Omnat, but the Gruul Omnat, Locus of Rage. So
now he's in a rainstorm, so he's got blue.
Yeah, he like stepped on a river and like, hey, I'm blue now.
Yeah, I can use this now.
So
that's a good
naturally, I'm going into Omnat. Go back into the very beginning when I first started Commander, and our other co-host, Big O, he's playing Kaikar. There's something. I don't know what. Kaikar?
It's a bird wizard, I can tell you that much.
Spirit bird, yeah. And our two guesses that we still kind of don't know who they will be. One of them will definitely play Kethis, I think.
I'm pretty sure he's playing
Kethis, and I don't know who the other one will be, but we'll see. It will be a surprise.
We will have fun with it all.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoy our banter back and forth, talking about our combos and our decks, and hopefully you'll see these decks in action at some point.
Oh, you will. You'll definitely see them in action.
You will.
Don't forget to check our Instagram page, Dethroned Commander. There'll be a link in the description. Don't you worry. But on top of that, tune in next time to see who gets the throne.
I'll keep it.
He won't.